Welcome back to the channel. This morning we're going to try and make some money trading Apple options. So let's see if we can do that. Today's trade was not the easiest. It was not the smoothest, and you're going to see why here in a second. Let's see. We can see here in TradingView that we are just 4 minutes into the trading day, and we're seeing the price of Apple gapped down at the beginning of the day, and then it is running up. We're seeing some strong price action going up. I am going to be looking for puts. I want to get into a short put position. Now, as you can see here, I'm frantically looking for those options in the option chain. There's an issue with the data coming in here. And if you came in from my other video about what to do if you have a data connection issue, well, you'll see here in a second how it gets resolved. You click on reconnect all farms. That was the first thing that I tried, and it brought some of the data in there for the 9-day options expiration, but the 15-day we're still missing that. So I don't know if this is just a data connection problem or if there's a larger issue going on, but none of this data is coming through. Like, you don't see any of the bid and ask data, although it loads it into that screen there. So first of all, right here, I'm just kind of setting myself up. I have the underlying in the bottom right, and then the actual option I'm looking at in the upper right, but I'm still not getting the data that I need. So I go ahead, and here you can see me clicking on that data again, reconnect all farms again, and this is what fixes it. You'll see all this data coming in. However, I was trying to get into that put position, up at, let's see, what was it, about 192.55, something like that. And it's come down quite a bit since then. So I was trying to get into that position right away. That is one of the things that I've been working on and trying to really focus on, is getting into being decisive about when I want to get into a position. I get into that position. There's no dilly-dallying around, trying to flirt with the bid and get it for as low of a price as possible. I just want to get into that trade. So right here you can see me setting my position size. I'm looking to, so this is going to be at 183, limit order for 183. I'm looking for about just shy of a $2,000 position in this. Going to go ahead and submit it, and then the next screen right here, this is where I double check everything I'm looking at, making sure that it's a buy for the correct bid amount and the correct position for the correct option for that put. So there we go, and almost immediately that is filled. So there we can see that I'm in it for 10 shares, or for 10 options for 10 contracts at $1.83. So I am expecting the price of Apple to come down now, and so we're gonna wait and see what happens. I could have made a little bit of money there, but honestly, if I would have gotten in sooner, if that data hadn't been doing that, I could have gotten in a little bit lower. But if you look at where the option price was, where those were selling in the upper right hand chart, I didn't miss out on that much money. So at this point, you can see over in this screen in the mosaic side, I like to be able to see in that portfolio, it'll show you your profit and loss percentage and actual unrealized amount. And we're getting, we're up in the negative 13, negative 14 percent range. And that is very close to my exit percentage. One thing that you'll notice that I do not recommend that you do, and I was kind of playing this fast and loose here, I should have done, is to set a stop loss right away for that amount, for my stop amount. Now, the reason why I felt comfortable not doing that is because I was monitoring this so closely, and you can see that this price came back down, and now the price of the underlying came back down, which is in our favor, and now we're getting back to break even. But for a second there, we're just about to go ahead and get out of this trade because I was about at my stop loss. You never ever break that rule, and I'll talk more about that in my upcoming video on how to create a trading strategy. You set a stop loss, and if you hit that, you sell. You don't mess around with it. You set those rules and you follow those rules. You can always change those rules later when you're not in a trade. You can always change those percentages when you've run data and you've looked at those trades and how they ended up, but you can never do it on the fly. That is how you blow up your account. So, so things are actually turning out, going our way. Now you'll see and notice another weird thing that I'm doing here, which is to create a sell limit order instead of doing a stop limit order. A stop limit order is going to let us then set a threshold that our asset, which is our put option, can go over, and then in terms of value, and then if it comes back down and hits that line, then it's going to execute that stop order. And that's what you really should do. The reason I didn't do that is because I was specifically recording a video talking about how to exit an option position, and just for the sake of keeping those order types the same, for clarity, I went ahead and just did that as a limit order. But the better way to do that is to set this up as a stop limit order. And then you can, if you're following it closely, then you can follow the price along with how that is doing, and actually create like a really tight, basically like you're doing a manual trailing stop. That is a good way to do it, and that's what you'll see me doing that in the future, because that's how I normally deal with those stop limit or how I get out of trades. So you'll see I'm kind of putzing around here because I'm recording a video talking about stuff. But when you have a sell order placed, you'll see up in that upper right hand chart, you'll see that red line. And what you can do is you can just move that line, just grab it and move it up and down, and it automatically updates your orders. That is super nice, because then you don't fat finger a number and make a mistake. That is what happens here, and you're gonna see that. I totally messed this up in a hilarious and spectacular fashion. Now, that number. Yeah, so what you have to do if you're updating an order in the orders, kind of where my mouse is right there, in the orders box, is you'd update that amount, and then you'd confirm that, and then it makes that change, as opposed to now you can see that red line is there in the upper right hand corner in that upper right hand chart. You can instead of just moving that up and down. So you can see here that we're approaching our exit. And I tried, this is what I did. I fat fingered that. I tried really hard to get out of that position by increasing that price. I wanted to maximize my profit a little bit, and I messed that up. I didn't get it in fast enough, and the price hit, and I exited that position a little bit earlier than I wanted to. Now, at the end of the day, I'm happy with that. I made $226 on this trade, and I made my target percentage, so that was totally fine. It was a good trade. It all worked out in the end. But the very beginning, with the data loss, I was scrambling a little bit, and then at the very end there, getting out a little bit earlier than I wanted to. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it, and we'll see you again next time.